Hey everyone, what do you think of this free side of the road pressure washer? It's that time of the year, free side of the road season. Every spring, people go out to their sheds, try to start up their power equipment. They didn't put it away correctly, it doesn't start, they give up, they buy a new one, throw things on the side of the road. This year, if I chose to, I could have collected a few dozen lawnmowers if I had the time to fix them all. But I've got snow blowers, all kinds of things free on the side of the road, and typically there's nothing wrong with them except maybe a dirty carburetor, maybe they never changed the oil, and it's all gunking up, it's getting really thick. Usually something along those lines, and can usually get it going in under an hour. So this thing's pretty cool. It's topped off with oil. It's going to get an oil change if we can get it started. Not before, since it has oil. Somebody spilled oil all over it, but it doesn't appear to be leaking. The dipstick is right on the spot. The issue is the carburetor bowl is missing. So I'm assuming the person knew that was probably the problem. One of the biggest issues with these machines is people don't put the right fuel in them. People go to the gas station and they buy regular fuel, which contains about 10% of ethanol. Now, that's fine for your car. Most fuel injection systems are self-cleaning, especially in vehicles that you're always using. It does not gunk up. You can drive forever, it doesn't gunk them up. I know some of the newer cars, actually, they have a new type of, I think, GDI injection. I might be completely wrong, but I know there's some sort of new injection system that actually does gunk up on cars. But these machines, like a pressure washer or a lawnmower, typically will sit all winter long, not being touched. And what happens is if you have ethanol in it, it dries up in the carburetor and it leaves the ethanol residue behind. So always buy ethanol free. In my area, they sell 91 octane ethanol free. That's all I buy for my power equipment, and there's never an issue with it sitting all winter or sitting all summer if it's the snowblower. Let's look in here. First thing you want to do is you can usually smell, just based on the smell of it, how long the thing's been sitting. You see, it's bone dry in there, but you are going to smell something. To me, it smells more like a kerosene or a turpentine. That is old gasoline. So there's all kinds of nasty residue in there. It came with all the nozzles, which is really cool. It came with, you put this in a bottle to make suds. It sucks up soap, mixes it in. Typically, you'd only want to use this one if you're using the suds. These ones won't function properly with the soap. It's very dirty. But a dirty engine is a happy engine. At least it's not all rusty. This thing actually looks really, really nice. It is almost twice as powerful as my electric one, so hopefully we can get it going. The hoses have a few kinks, but zero damage, zero dry rot. And that's pretty good for an older machine. And this machine here is a 2006. Tecumseh went out of business shortly after this, but you can still buy aftermarket parts. Immediately when I found it on the side of the road, I pulled on it. It's got good compression, so I think it's going to fire up nicely. We're going to have to reuse these bolts, reuse these screws, so we're going to have to take the air filter here apart because that screw head is on the inside there. Now, I bought this on Amazon. Came with a new gasket, came with the new air filter, new carburetor. It could be as simple as just putting this bowl on the other one, but I think we should replace it. Came with a new spark plug, which I'll save. I don't think that's also required. Came with a new fuel filter, which we will install. So that's pretty nice. Now we're gonna try taking this apart. First thing, I want to get all the hose off of it. I gotta untangle that mess. Now, you do not want to start one of these unless you have water hooked up to it. You don't want to run them dry. So we will hook it up to the water. And pull the trigger on this with it off. Make sure we purge the air out of the compressing unit first. So here, it's my first time ever looking at it. Here's the new filter. The old one definitely looks higher quality. It's actually barely even dirty. It's not like a lawnmower filter. I've found lawnmower filters, every little crack is just caked with dust. Because if you're mowing the lawn and you're going through a dirty area, it can be pretty dusty. So I'm gonna save this, but I don't think we have to actually replace that. That looks very clean, to be honest. And I'm trying to figure out where the fuel filter even is, because I don't see it. Maybe it's over here. I don't even think it has it. I don't think it has that part where it's hiding. Okay, so got the Phillips. We gotta take these screws out. We might have to take that one up there out. Probably. Yeah, we gotta take that one out because it's gonna be hard to not take it out. Make sure we don't lose those. Someone else has been in here. See, this one's all stripped out. Someone's taking this apart. And so I don't strip it more. I gotta put the pressure of both my hands in there. Okay, we got it turning. Nice. It's one reason I don't like Phillips. Phillips, by this point, should just be obsolete. Everything should be hex or star, because those don't strip. Alright, that's not working. I feel like we're gonna break this. It's kind of on there tight, so we gotta go up to a little bit bigger one. Let's try that again. Let's crack that and loosen it up. Oh, come on. Feels like the edges are rounded. Yeah, that one's not working either. All right, this one's too big. I can't get this one to fit into the space. We got to get a smaller one now. All right, there we go. Now we've loosened it up. In case you couldn't tell, that was a joke. Those other wrenches are tiny and they're novelty. They're not made to take any strain. But this actual one took it off. The fake wrenches have a lot of play in them. I guess they're not fake. They are a real wrench. They're just not made to actually do anything. That tiny, tiny one at first actually came out of one of those $1 gumball machines when I was a kid. Now we got to get the other one out of there. So far, everything on here seems to look exactly the same, except one big difference. The existing carburetor doesn't have this. It's likely self-priming. I have push mowers that have this. I also have push mowers where you just pull the cord and you're good to go. It primes automatically. We're going to need to find a new clamp right there, because this one doesn't have a clamp. It shouldn't be on that loose. The other one here, you take some pliers and you squeeze these two along with the third, and that will come right off. This gasket here is actually not that bad for such an old machine, but you usually cannot save them, so good thing it came with a new one. Totally different story with this other one. Even though we got the clip off, it is holding on for dear life. Hopefully that older rubber can handle me really yanking on it and holding this with some... Yeah, this is not coming off very easily. At least there's a little bit of slack, but I don't want to cut it. I'm going to try to get that off. Got it off, but like I thought, we're going to have to trim it a little bit. It's got some cracks on it. And I pulled that with all my force. And as I pulled it, my hand was like... Happens all the time. So we only took off a little less than ½ an inch. Tried not to take a lot of it off. Okay, whatever company this came from sent a bunch of unnecessary parts with the carburetor that I'm not going to replace. But one thing they did not send me was the right bolts. These aren't the right thread for the new carburetor. Seriously? Now I gotta find a way to make this somehow work. I'm hoping this material's soft enough I can rethread it. I'll rethread it to a 10 or 1232 electrical screw, and hopefully it can take the heat. I don't think the carburetor gets the brunt of the heat, so I think that'll work. So the old carburetor, I'm noticing, has a broken off bolt in it, so we could not have reused this thing. The new carburetor's in there. The linkage went together perfectly. That moves perfectly with the throttle, see? And I checked on the inside to make sure it's opening and closing. It seems to be. We might have to move it to the other hole if we find it not to be, because I am noticing something else. You see the backside, you see that piece of metal in the back of there? That might have to be bent upright, because when I move the throttle, see how it moves back? It's actually smashing into the bolt, so it can't move to its full potential. It didn't seem like a problem looking inside. It opens and shuts, it appeared, at least when I was able to see in there. If anything, we'll have to bend that piece of metal that's in the backside right there so that can move back further. I don't know if this thing even has a fuel filter. It might be inside of the gas tank. I can't find it. I also didn't have another clamp, so I used that, and I just twisted it really tight, and it's holding. That should do the job. All my hose clamps don't shrink down that small. I think that'll work. It's better than it was. Now let's hook it up to the hose, give it some gas, see if it'll start. First off right here, that's typically not a good sign. It was dripping more when I first turned the water on. It's actually stopping, so maybe it's not as big of a deal. It looks like it's actually going to stop. So it's leaking out of a gasket right here. You do not want air getting into an air compressor. I mean into a pressure washer, because it can cause unnecessary wear and tear. That's why you do not start these up without the water. It's not that bad. It was actually a pretty steady flow. You saw when I started recording, well, it was twice as bad when I first turned it on, and now it's just about stopped. So if it starts and runs perfectly, should I replace that gasket? It no longer seems like a problem. It's just about stopped. Maybe the water's helping the gasket swell. Maybe it'll completely stop. But now we want to make sure the air is out of there. It's actually trickling a little there. We're just going to pull the trigger with it off. And just hold the trigger. Give it a minute or two. Make sure all the air is purged out of it. Wait until you can't hear air bubbles anymore. And then we'll give it a shot. Just gonna hold it like this for a minute. All right, I do think that gasket is swelling because it's just about stopped. I filled it up halfway with gasoline. We're gonna prime it, see if it'll go. Just in case I need to get close to this and snuff it out or something if we can't get it to shut off. I wanna get ear protection on. All right, let's prime it up, see if it'll go. The carburetor might need some adjustments. I can't tell if there's fuel going to it, but we're gonna try it. So, I'm just feeling around on the throttle. I feel like that nub is where it's supposed to start. Ooh! That's promising. Maybe I'll try turning the throttle up this time. All right, it stalled when I turned the throttle up. check, there's no kinks in the hose. It's running really good. I will give it an oil change. I just got to figure out why it's not pressurizing. And the leak has stopped. All right, so the engine runs really good. Maybe it is pressurizing. Maybe it's just not flowing a lot. I don't think so. It doesn't seem to be pressurizing anything. I'm trying to figure out how this goes in there. It's either missing something or this needs to come off. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Something here is wrong. But I need to know if it's pressurizing or if it's the nozzle that's broken, because the nozzle's cheap. Otherwise, I'll give up if it's the actual compressor. I'm just trying to figure out how to get this thing off. Need a flathead. I think it's missing something. It says high pressure, low pressure. Let's try that again. Okay, it works. Yes, it works. So it's this, but it's missing something. You can't put the nozzle into it. See? Yeah, it's got high pressure. It's working good. But it doesn't have, it's missing the piece you put the nozzle in. I don't, yeah, this is a easy fix. I just got to figure out, to be honest with you, we're going to replace this maybe. I'm going to see if the one on my electric pressure washer works. I don't know if you could hear a thing I was saying, but this controls high and low pressure. As simple as that. It's missing a piece on the end of it to put the nozzle into. I'm going to see if I can unscrew this because it looks the same as my electric one. I think the nozzle for my electric one can just fit into this, to be honest with you. It looks to be the same size threads. Let's go see if we can swap this out with my electric one, and we can just borrow back and forth. To be honest with you, the gas one here is more convenient than the electric one. First off, it's twice as powerful. Second off, I don't have to drag electrical cords out where I dangerously have water. So, those are two pros. Let's go see if this will fit on my electric one. Okay, so my electric one's back here. And this is what we're going to steal off it right here. And by the way, this is a really good machine. It works amazingly. I've had that for years for cleaning the mud off of my truck. Since I got to pressure wash my truck about once a week. Every time I get home from the logging roads, I got to pressure wash. So I'm thinking those bits look like they'll fit into the same thing here. This might need to be lubricated a bit, but I have good hope for this. Okay, I haven't tried it yet. Let's see. Nice! This is gonna work! We got a much more powerful pressure washer, and to be honest with you, the Caterpillar nozzle is thicker, so I don't see any issue with it holding pressure. What about the nozzles? Are they the same? I guess it doesn't matter because I have a complete set on the other one. They look similar. Let's see. Does it lock in there? Yes, it does. They're interchangeable. Let's try the Caterpillar one first. And I'll have to lubricate this. Okay, let's start it back up. Give this a test. Doesn't have that control anymore. I got pressure out of it. Okay. Why am I only getting pressure? It's only giving me pressure like every 6 trigger pull. Look. Nothing. 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 There we go, but I went too far. Let's try it again. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Oh, here we go. Powerful. I can live with that. I can live with that. I'm going to put the most powerful setting on this, and we're going to go see how far into the sky it'll spray. So what's this? Alright, this is the most powerful one. We're going to see how far this thing shoots into the sky. Here we go. So we got more troubleshooting. It works, but it's something to do with this. I can replace this whole thing for pretty cheap. Nothing. Wait a second. Hold up. I think I might know what's wrong. So, it seems to have this issue less when it's at medium throttle. When it's at full throttle, it seems to have more issues. To be honest with you, it might be not getting enough gallons per minute. We're gonna do some adjustments right now. I do have a splitter on my hose nozzle. It comes out of the wall at 3/4 inch, and it goes into these teeny little reducing piece of garbage tee from the Home Depot. We're gonna take that whole thing off the house and give it 3/4 inch pipe. Let's see if that makes a difference. It might have a built-in safety so you can't run it with too little water. Now, it's not because I'm on well water. My well actually has better pressure than most houses with city water. It produces over 10 gallons a minute. Pretty good. But honestly, it probably wasn't getting more than 4 gallons a minute with that reducer, so it's got full power now. Let's give it a try. Start it back up. It wasn't that. got nothing to do with water pressure. It's got to do with the carburetor. The engine wasn't running fast enough for the pump to kick in. So I guess the high pressure pump does not work unless it's up at high RPM. That seems unusual. Other gas pressure washers I've used don't require that. You can even pressure wash at idle. You're just not going to have as much pressure. So I tweaked the carburetor and we got it to run faster. I'm happy with it the way it is. I can live with these problems. I can make it work. This machine here, if you want to buy it brand new, I've seen knockoffs, like Walmart brand ones, for just under 300 bucks. This one here is older. It's probably built a lot better, probably easier to work on. In today's money, this thing probably would be more around the $500 mark, but I saved a ton of money. That carburetor kit only cost 17 bucks. Even if I buy a new wand, 40 bucks is pretty good for this machine. I'm happy with it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day.